Warriors NRL fanatics here, back today with a video, and I'm going to get into my NRL tips for round 12. It all kicks off on Thursday the 27th of May. It's the Brisbane Broncos versus the Melbourne Storm at Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane. Now, the Brisbane Broncos had a great win last week against the Sydney Roosters. They really much were a huge surprise there. I thought the Sydney Roosters would win that, but it's a big surprise, big upset victory down there at the Sydney Cricket Ground. A great performance by the Brisbane Broncos over the Roosters. And they picked up their 500th win as a club. So it was a great achievement for the Brisbane Broncos. And it was a win that they really needed because they're really struggling this season. And, it doesn't help now because they've got a very good team in the Melbourne Storm that they've got to face this week. So, yeah, it was a good win for them, but it's going to be a very, very tall order against this Melbourne Storm team. Now, the Melbourne Storm, they've got a lot of injuries lately. They really have a lot of injuries. Now, they started the game very slowly against the Canberra Raiders. They're trailing 10 points to nil early on, but going into the halftime break, Melbourne had all the momentum, and then from there on, they won the game pretty convincingly in the second half down there against the Canberra Raiders. So, in saying that, going off that and going off Brisbane, they either win one game and they're shit the next week. So I'm going to tip the Melbourne Storm here. They should win this comfortably. I'm going Melbourne Storm by 28 points. And anytime try scorers, I've gone with George Jennings, Remus Smith, and Justin Olam. Now, the next game is on Friday, and that's Friday the 28th of May. It's the North Queensland Cowboys versus the New Zealand Warriors at Queensland Country Bank Stadium in Townsville. Now, I will be doing a full preview of this game either tonight or it'll be up tomorrow, so make sure you tune in for that one. So in saying that, a quick tip for this game, I'm going to tip the Warriors by 8 points. Anytime try scorers, I've gone with Cody Nikorima, Marcelo Montoya, and Adam Pompey. Now, the second game on Friday night sees the West Tigers versus the St. George Illawarra Dragons, and that's at Bankwest Stadium. Look, the West Tigers last week against the Warriors, very, very close to coming back and sending that game to extra time or getting a result in regular time, the West Tigers, but they fell short against the Warriors. Now, the Dragons, very disappointing last week, I thought. No, very disappointing performance. And this one was a very hard game to pick. I'm going to go with the Tigers here. I'm going to go with the Tigers by 10 points. Anytime try scorers, I've gone with David Nofoaluma, Adam Dewey, and Luke Gardner, the try scorer last week who scored a double. So I'm going to pick him to score in this game. Now, Saturday the 29th of May sees the Penrith Panthers, the high-flying Penrith Panthers, who sit on 11 wins and no losses, and yet to lose a game this season. As for the Bulldogs, they're sitting bottom of the ladder at the moment in the wooden spoon position with only one win so far this season. And this is going to be a very tall order for the Bulldogs here to get an upset victory, and it's been played at Bluebet Stadium, Penrith. So I don't see Penrith losing this one. I'll just make this pretty simple. Penrith will win this by 40 points. Anytime try scorers, I've gone with Viliami Kiko, Matt Burton, and Liam Martin. Now, the second game on Saturday sees the South Sydney Rabbitohs versus the Parramatta Eels at Stadium Australia. This is the Rabbitohs home game. Look, for the Rabbitohs and Eels, both coming off very, very disappointing performances, I thought, last week. Parramatta, look, they were very disappointing, to be honest. I thought, Manly made it very hard for them, but I didn't think Parramatta played that well. As for the South Sydney Rabbitohs, they were very, very poor, conceding 50 points up there against the Penrith Panthers. I know Penrith are the top team on the ladder, but still conceding 50 points is not good. It's not great at all. And, they'll need to fix their defence if they're to be contenders at the end of the season, because you can't concede 50 points and expect to win the premiership. So I'm expecting Rabbitohs here to bounce back. It's a very hard game to tip, but I'm going to pick the Rabbitohs here at home. Rabbitohs to win by 12 points. Anytime try scorer, I've gone with Latrell Mitchell, Campbell Graham, and Cody Walker to dot down for the Rabbitohs. Now, the third game, sees the Sydney Roosters versus the Canberra Raiders at Central Coast Stadium. This has been played at Central Coast. Roosters home game. Look, the Sydney Roosters last week, big shock losing to the Brisbane Broncos down there at the Sydney Cricket Ground. The Raiders, what can you say? I've already ruled them out of the finals contention, and I don't think they're going to beat the Roosters here. The Roosters should bounce back after their disappointing results to the Brisbane Broncos, and I'm expecting the Roosters to win by 18 points. My anytime try scorers, I've gone with Daniel Tupou, Joseph Manu, and Isaac Liu. Now, Sunday, the 30th of May, there's 2 games on, and the first game is the Cronulla Sharks versus the Gold Coast Titans, and this has been played at Coffs Harbour, so great to see some games being taken up there at Coffs Harbour. Look, the Sharks, I think, the Sharks have been very disappointing this season. Since the sacking of John Morris, very disappointing. But they did pick up a win last week, so that's a huge bonus for the Cronulla Sharks. Now, the Gold Coast Titans, look, they had a good win last week. They're at home. They had a good win. They expected to win that game, and they won it pretty well. But, the Gold Coast Titans, their form away from home hasn't been great this year. Their form at home has been much better. So I'm going to tip an upset here. I'm going to tip the Sharks here to win this one, even though the Titans are probably the better team over the Sharks. But I'm going to tip them here. Sharks to produce a win here. I think I'm going to tip them to win by 6 points. Cronulla to win by 6. Anytime try scorers, I've gone with AJ Brimson, Philip Sammy, and Ramian for the Sharks, and Matt Kennedy for the Sharks. So the second game, which is the last game of the round, it's the Newcastle Knights versus the Manly Seagulls, the informed Manly Seagulls. Newcastle Knights, very disappointing the last couple of months. The Manly Seagulls in form and showing a lot of confidence at the moment. Huge win over Parramatta down there at Bankwest Stadium. And it's a contender too. They're better contenders. So Manly are showing some good form at the moment. And look, Newcastle Knights, they welcome back Kalen Ponga, which is a huge in for them. But I'm going to tip Manly here to still win. But I think it'll be a little bit closer than a lot of people are picking. So I'm going to tip Manly to win. I think Newcastle, they're due for a big performance. And I think they will definitely make it hard for Manly in this one. But I'm going to pick Manly to win by 4. Anytime try scorer, I've gone with Tommy Trbojevic, crossover again. How good's Tommy Trbojevic been? He's been in outstanding form, so I think he'll continue that form. And anytime try scorer as well, I'm going to pick Kalen Ponga to return and score a try, and Jason Sabb and Morgan Harper for Manly. So, yeah, so my tips are for this round are the Melbourne Storm by 28 points, the Warriors by 8, the West Tigers by 10, the Rabbitohs by 12, the Panthers by 40, the Sydney Roosters by 18, the Cronulla Sharks by 6, and Manly Seagulls by 4. So yeah, that's my tips for round 12 of the NRL. Let me know your tips in the comments section below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.